Hello everyone, Sar here. Thank you so much for joining me. This is release day from Trinity Stamps, and we have some fantastic products. This is a hop, so if you have not seen everyone else's, definitely take a look at the description, or the playlist, sorry, and you will see all the inspiration that design team has been making. I'm going to be working with the Stuffies. This is it's totally a standalone stamp set. It is absolutely adorable with these cute little animals. But you'll notice that there's these sentiments here that are a little different, like clawsome, when really I wouldn't associate claws with any of these cute, adorable animals. And the reason for that is because this can actually coordinate well with the other items in the stamps or this release. And one of them is the gaff foam die set. So I'm not going to play with that. I'm going to be playing with just this sentiment or stamp set here. I'm going to be playing with this die cut. This is the A2 window box card. If you want to know what it looks like, it kind of looks like, well, it looks like this when you put it together. This is just my playing. But I'm going to be playing with just that square because it has a nice little frame in it. And we're going to be creating a very simple, clean card. And then, of course, I have my Beaming of Love stencil, and I'm going to be using that just to create a little bit of background. So sit back, relax, and let's create a card. With many great cards comes great stamp sets, and that's what we're going to be doing here is grabbing this Stuffies stamp set, and we're going to pull out every single one of these little cuties and stamp them on some alcohol-friendly paper. These, I couldn't pick one. There was no chance I was going to not color every single one of these. They're very simple, they're very easy to color, and they're absolutely adorable. I'm going to be turning them all into little Stuffies, and so once we get this all inked up, I will pull out an archival ink pen, the Micron pens. The reason I chose that is because I can use my alcohol markers. I was trying to see if I can get another set of those little stamps there, but I decided let's just stick with the one right now. So here we go. Here's my pen, and all I'm going to do is I grabbed a 0.5. That was close to the thickness of the lines, but not the exact. So I want to be a little bit thinner. And I'm just going to draw little stitch lines on the legs, on the head, or the chest, whatever looks right. And there's no real wrong. Just kind of think of how things are sewed together. And we'll just add some basic dotted lines just to kind of give it the illusion that these are plushies. These are stuffed animals that have been sewed together. The sheep, I'm just going to do the head and the ears. And the teddy bear, I'll do the belly, the head, because, yeah, that's usually where I would imagine you'd see the stitches. It's been a while since I've seen a teddy bear in front of me, but I can use Google, and that's what I did to help me find where to put stitch marks. So whenever you're in a jam, just look at images on Google, and it will help you. So that's my little tip and secret. So there we go. Once I'm finished with the stitches, and because I'm using the Micron pen, I can go in and use my alcohol markers and not worry about bleeding. Look how cute those are. Really cute. Now, I forgot to turn my camera on when I started coloring, so the duck is already done. And let's start coloring the rest of them. I'm keeping this fairly simple. If you want to add shading, you definitely can. It's extremely easy. You just go from this, in my case, I will go onto the sides and underneath the heads and just do a very simple one pass of a darker shade, and they will look fantastic. I can't say enough of how easy these images are to color and make them look fantastic, especially that cow. I love the cow and the sheep and the duck and the dog and the rabbit and the bear and the pig and the dinosaur. And the chicken, if I didn't say that. So now that all that is done, let's use the dies and we'll cut those out. And look how cute those are. They're just amazing. And then the next step is to create a little background that's not too distracting. I've taken a piece of greenish blue, almost like sea glass cardstock, and I'm going to ink it with this stencil with peacock feathers. I'm using a bigger piece, but we're going to be using the A2 window box card die set and cut this out into a square. And I'll pull that die out in a second. So we don't need to worry about covering that whole piece. I just want to make sure I had a good coverage there. So there's the die, and it disappeared. And okay, there's the die, A2 size window. And we're just going to take that little window piece, and what that's going to do is give us a little frame as well. So I'll cut that out in a darker piece of bluish green cardstock because that's going to give me a nice little frame for this background. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a card base and we're going to add a sentiment using the same ink that we use for blending, just to tie it all together. You could definitely use black if you would like, or any other color, but I decided to stick with the same color theme. I'm going to grab that really long sentiment. I hope your day is stuffed with joy. I am going to try and make it so that the box with all the stuffies and then the sentiment all have kind of an equal padding around it. However, if you want to have less space between the box and the sentiment, you can totally squish those together and it'll create a more compact image. And if you like that, that works as well. But there are two different ways of creating a similar, simple, and clean design. So I'm just going to grab a little pencil now and just make sure I don't lose my perfect spot. I took all that time to make sure I positioned it correctly. I definitely don't want to lift that up and lose it, especially when you go to glue and your glue bottle is dried. You definitely would have lost your spot by then. So that pencil marks is going to help me guide exactly where I need to plop that back down. And then I can put my frame right where it's meant to be. But I realize I want it to have just a little bit of more height. So I'm going to take that piece that was discarded and I'll just glue those together. And then I have 2 layers. If you want to have more, you can definitely cut it more times. You don't need to throw away that square piece in the center. That can be used for any other kind of die cutting for future projects. But I'm just going to do the 2. I think that is going to be good enough. And not because I did not want to cut a 3rd piece. It is strictly because I think 2 was the perfect number for this card. Now that that is set, before I glue the frame down, I'm going to place all my little plushies and I'm going to pile them up into a mound of plushies, making sure that the cow is right up center because it's one of my favorite little images and I don't want to get lost. But none of them are worse than the others overall because they are all cute. I just think that the cow was colored nicely in this scenario. So I'm just going to tuck them in just slightly so that they are all kind of looks like they're being held together by piling on top of each other. I'm not pressing down because I want to tuck. And I'm also trying to make sure that all the colors are separated so that there's not 2 the same. Once that's all set, I can then put my frame down, and this is pretty much my card. So while I finish this, I will bring in some embellishments to finish off the card, filling in some of that white spot or white area. I did want to take a chance just to remind everyone this is a hop, and some of the design team members have created projects as well on Instagram and YouTube. And there is just a lot of inspiration using the new release by Trinity Stamps. This also is a hop where you can win a prize. So read the description box below for more information on how you can enter that. So now to finish off, like I said, I brought in some of these star embellishments. I'm just going to tuck them around inside the box and around the corners, filling in some of that white space. And we will conclude that card. We'll just have to glue each little star down. When it comes to these embellishments, these are the glitter. They're like the glitter dots, but the star shapes. One side is smooth and one side has all the glitter. I personally like to have the glitter facing up because it is much shinier and sparklier, but you don't have to. The choice is up to you. So there we go. I hope you enjoy this. This is a very simple, clean design, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did creating it. Until the next time, have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.